What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Hippo Supercoach, and today we're going to be going through the best trade targets for round 3. So this is sort of piggybacking off the live stream I did last night. If you want a more in-depth analysis on some of those players, then go check out that stream. It's still up on the channel, so yeah. Before we get into it, please drop a like, hit the subscribe button if you're new. It really helps the algorithm. But yeah, let's get into it. So number one most traded in player is Massimo D'Ambrosio. So obviously he's a no-brainer because the break-even is crazy low, negative 82. He's going to make bank. He's going to make bank this week. So expect him to make a good 90k, provided that he turns up. And the scoring ceiling is clearly there. He's averaging 105 Supercoach. He's given us a 122 and an 87. So yeah, absolute must-have, non-negotiable pick, in my opinion. Then we're moving on to Toby Pink. So I assume a lot of people are bringing in Toby Pink, mostly due to the injuries in their backline. So we've got Reid, Caulfield, and Gibcus. Most people have all three of them. So, yeah, Pink is by no stretch of the imagination a great pick, 44 and 58, but he is playing backline in a team that's going to be having their ball in the backline quite often. So that's another pro. I think he's got relatively good job security. I liked his game personally, but he is more of like a lockdown defender than an intercept player. So number 3, Tom Powell, in my opinion, should be in more teams. He's in mine, and I just think I spoke about him a little bit in the video, but he's a gun. At the end of the day, he's gone up from 20% CBAs last year to 84% on average and 93% in his last game. So that's insane. That's an insane jump, and he's averaging the 112, so 130 and a 95 in round 1. So I'm backing this guy to go at 105-ish. 95 against Joe West is pretty good considering how good their midfield is. And then Freya's midfield is also quite good, so 130 is pretty solid. And what the fuck just opened? Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with the Tom Powell pick. I think he has to come into consideration because even if he doesn't end up being a keeper, break-even of negative 47 is still really low. He's going to make 60k this week if he scores 80. So that's huge, huge numbers. So Tom Powell I think is a great option. Caleb Sarong. So I personally don't love the Sarong pick this week. 621k. I know he's going to be gone once you don't get him this week, if you don't. But I just have a gut feeling he'll get George Hewitt, and he might even cop some attention by Adelaide. Maybe Sam Berry, I'm not sure. I think Sam Berry's a pretty good matchup for Sarong. Both about the same height. And Hewitt's a pretty good matchup for Sarong as well. I'm pretty sure he's tagged him almost all these games, 90, 70, and 70. So, yeah, I don't like the matchup for Sarong against Carlton. And all it takes is a 190 or 170, not 170, but one single game of 70 points to really drop in price and start that break-even being pretty high again. So that's my thoughts on Sarong. Wangani Malera, so it's really annoying that I picked this guy last year because he's so much better than he was last year. I think he's capable of being a top 6 defender, to be honest. And if not, he's going to go close enough to the point where you could just have him at D6 or D7 and it'll be fine. So that's sort of where I stand with him. I'd probably pick him, but at this point, I don't have the luxury of trading in someone like Wangani Malera. But yeah, if you're going to get him, this is probably the way to do it. Sam Darcy, so I see people going early on him, and I get the reason to doing it because he's playing West Coast, so that's why people are going early, I assume. And just saving the trade next week because you're probably going to have to get him in. I personally don't want to go early, especially after the Caulfield failure that I had where he got injured on 3 last week. So yeah, I'm probably not going to go too early on someone like Sam Darcy. Luke Ryan. So Luke Ryan's probably the best premium pickup this week in my opinion. He's just averaging 146, as you do. And he's playing not that well, but he's scoring insanely well for how average he's playing. I think he only had like 20 disposals on the weekend, something relatively low for that score. When it goes at 100% efficiency, he just knows how to score Supercoach points, I feel, and that's just the kind of player we want. And he's playing intercept. I don't think he's manning up at all, playing the Sicily role of last year. So Yeah, I think Luke Ryan's a great pick, to be honest, and he's another one that's price is going to be gone. 54 break even. He's going to be close to 650k. Oliver Dempsey. So I'm not sure about him. I know the break even is crazy low, and any other week I probably would get him, but at this point I just can't get everyone that I want in. I need to get D'Ambrosio. I need to get McKercher. And I need to get Power. And then Dempsey's probably that fourth in line because of the break even. So he's going to make 60k if he scores 61. So look, if you want a guaranteed price rise, grab Dempsey. Like I said, I just can't. I personally cannot do it. And it really annoys me. Luke Jackson. So I don't think I'd be doing this. We heard Darcy's 2 to 3 away. So if you want a premium that's going to put out great numbers for 2 or 3 weeks, then yeah, Jackson's a good option. But I don't like the idea of trading in a premium for 2 weeks just to trade him back out again. So that's where I stand. Yes, he's going to go up in price. Obviously, his break even is 19. He's going to 600k quite comfortably. But yeah, like I said, I don't think I'll be doing it. I mean, I know I won't be doing it. And then McKercher, minus 68 break even, going up 58k this week if he scores 58. Absolute must have, no brainer pick. There's not really much to talk about. So people are trading out Hayden Young. I think it makes sense. It's riskier to hold him than it is to trade him at this point based on his break even of 165. So we're pretty confident he's not going to hit that. 0% Supercoach says. Predicted score of 78, and he is going to drop 40k. Cannot afford something like that in my team. Coffee has an obvious trade out because he's injured for 14 weeks or something. Gibcus, yep. Sexton, interesting people going early on Sexton because I do think he still has quite a bit of money to make, but at the same time, someone in that forward line has to go. For me, I wouldn't want to trade someone like Cadman or Darcy Wilson. I think Sexton would be the one. But like I said, Sexton has got plenty of money to make, and he did have a howler of a game on the weekend. Gave away a 50 and a free kick in one go. Very undisciplined play by him. And then he spent a quarter in the forward line, so I don't know how frequent that's going to be. Look, if we see him in the forward line again in the future, then we'll trade him. Simple as that. We don't want him playing forward. We want him staying on that back line where he can get some easy points. But yeah, like I said, if we see him go forward, I'm happy to bid him. But for now, I'm going to keep him. Zach Reed, yeah, people are getting rid of. Makes sense. He's out for another couple of weeks. Nick Martin, one I want to hold, I think. 20% of teams, so 5,000 have traded him out. So he's still going to be in a fair chunk of teams. Yeah, I still back the Nick Martin pick. I think St Kilda can see a lot of points to defenders. So, yeah, I'd like to see Nick Martin with Ridley in the team. I think it would actually help him. And I know people might just assume, more kick into Ridley, yes. But I think Ridley likes to do a lot of short kicks in defence. He likes to sort of switch the ball a bit when Nick Martin can get a few easy marking kicks with him in the team. So, yeah, I'm backing in Nick Martin to bounce back. But I'm giving him one more week and he's gone. Jai Newcomb, so he's just a player that I would just not go near. 180 break even, similar position to Hayden Young. We're going to be it's going to be too hard to keep someone like that when it's just too risky. He's gone down 50k this week if he scores 77, so there you go. Thomas Berry, 208k. Yeah, people getting rid of him, giving us 44k. So Jordan Dawson's one I probably wouldn't get rid of just because he's an uber premium at the end of the day. That's where Hayden Young and Newcomb are not uber premiums. So that's why I'd hold him regardless of his break even because you didn't pick him to make money. So it's not a big deal if he drops 50k. Same with Nick Dacos, so don't trade Nick Dacos. And Jaden Short, yeah, I wouldn't go near him. He's a trap. And I'd probably trade him out as well. Too iffy with the role. So these are my final trades, guys. Well, depending on team selection, obviously, but Ambrosio, McKercher, Powell in, Hayden Young, Hewitt, and Sean Manor out. In hindsight, I could have traded Hewitt last week, but I think I'd rather hold Nick Martin than Hewitt at this point. And Walsh coming back in the next couple of weeks, so I think Hewitt's a dead pick now, unfortunately. So yeah, that's it for the video, guys. VCC, Bond into Butters, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.